All right, so we have our emojis drawn. Now we're going to actually laser cut it out. So now this practice, we can make some really cool little cartoons and paper dolls, I call them. But this is the same process you would go through if you were cutting something on like a plasma machine or a CNC water jet or a larger laser, anything. This is how it works. You'd make vectors, and then you pull them apart, and then you cut them. So we are going to make this awesome one right here because it's pretty simple, and hopefully everyone has a simple one like this. There's nothing too difficult. They're all pretty simple. But we're going to go through and we're going to make this. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to hold down Alt and I'm going to copy it. You never want to work with the actual only version, just in case you screw up. You never want to destroy something you're going to have. So now we're going to actually go over here and look at this part. Okay, over here, because when we make these, it actually cuts it out to the exact same size. All right. So whatever we put it here, that's what it's going to get cut out if your machine is set up correctly. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to say this is a circle. I'm going to make it an 8-inch emoji face. That looks pretty darn big. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to pull them over here. So this artboard has this on it. We need to make artboards. We need to make one artboard for every color. All right. So I have a pink cheek. I have a yellow face. I have black eyes and a black mouth. Now we also put backers on these, but that's to be a black backer, so that's not an extra sheet. So I'm going to start by making a sheet. And I like our sheet size to be that 24 width by 18 height. And that's what we have right here. If I want to make a copy of that sheet, which we'll do here in a second. So first I'm going to put on my emoji on it. Now I'm going to go back into making another artboard. Remember, every artboard is for a color. So if I hold down Alt, I'm going to actually copy the whole artboard with the emoji on it. All right, and I'm going to put it over. I want to be able to see them all. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to copy this artboard too. And now I have all three of them. So now I'm ready to go. So step number one is we're going to pull everything apart. All right, now it gets a little complicated. It's not just as easy as just pulling and dragging everything over here and putting the eyes over here and stuff like that. All right, it's close to that, but it's not quite that easy. All right, step number one is we're going to pull off everything that doesn't have something on it. All right, so pink cheeks, there's nothing on the pink cheeks. So we can put those over there, and we don't need anything else. I'm going to delete that. That is our pink part of it. I'm going to make one more copy of this so it's the correct size. All right. Now I'm going to go over here. Now I have my black mouth, my black eyeballs, both my black eyeballs. And now I am going to say that I'm going to use this as a backer. All right. And we're making these out of construction paper. And this is just going to be a black sheet of paper that we glue everything onto, so it makes it a little bit more stiff. All right, because construction paper tends to curl when you glue things onto it. So if you glue two pieces together, it's like plywood, keeps things flattened a little bit straighter. All right, now we're going to go up here. Now this one is the tricky one. All right, now you would say, oh, we want a yellow face. We're going to pull everything off of it. All right, so let's pretend that's what we did. We dragged those off, get rid of this. So we cut a yellow sheet. How do we know where to put everything? We could, just hope everything goes back in the right spot and we don't screw it up. Or we could go back to here and we're going to cut it just like this. All right. Now, we're not going to cut these out. We're going to cut out a circle and we're going to engrave, so make tiny little marks where these go so we know where to glue them together. All right. So now we're going to start messing with stuff here. All right. So the laser sees certain colors, and we are going to set it up for that. So this first one, we're going to do both of these. Now the laser, the colors we use for the laser are mainly red and green. So if anything that's close to red, you can't have that, or else it'll start doing weird things. So I'm going to turn these to yellow, even though they're not yellow. It's not a big deal. The big deal is the stroke. So the stroke size needs to be 0.001. And our stroke color, to get this, you have to hold down Shift and left click, and we're cutting this out. Our cut line is green. So we have 100% green. All right, there's our cut. So there we go. So we cut it. And it's really hard to see the green line there, but you just have to believe it. All right. Now these ones right here, we're going to highlight the whole thing. It does. We don't use black as a cut, so we can leave this black. So we need to change this to 0.001. Hold down Shift, change that color here, and it's already green. That's wonderful for us. If it wasn't, we'd slide it over. And now those are cut, or I should say are ready to cut. I'm going to hold down spacebar and drag up here. Now this one's the only one that's different. So I'm going to start off by highlighting all my little pieces here. You can either highlight them one at a time, or you could highlight everything, hold down Shift and deselect the face. A little bit less clicks there. I'm going to change the color because I don't like those. I think that might show up as red. So I'm just going to change everything to blue. It doesn't really matter again. Now we're going to change our stroke to 0.001. And our color, this is etching. Our etching, we're going to let go of Shift now, and we're going to change this to red, 100% red. So etching is red. All right, now we're going to select this, and we're going to change 0.001. And this needs to be green because we're cutting this out. And there we go. Now we have everything split apart, ready to go. So now we're going to save this. All right. Make sure you save it. You can either save it in the cloud. It'll give you an option, or on your computer. If you're switching computers a lot, save it to the cloud. That's probably the best way to do it, is just save it to the cloud anyways. You're going to put your flash drive in the computer, and then you're going to do File, Save As, and then you're going to find that drive. It should be like an E drive or something like that. We'll show it here later. Actually, there's a video on how to save things to your E drive and use the flash drive. Just make sure you're looking at that. And we save it in there. And then we're good to go. The next video is going to show you how to set up the laser.